So we have a few minutes, I think, maybe a moment or two for questions.
Let's take some.
Yeah.
Sex for a few minutes. Particularly, do you view that sex in Second Life is something that's going to help you continue to grow, or do you view sexually themed sins as being a problem and something you're trying to isolate so that you can bring in PG
That's a great question.
enterprise content?
Well, I don't. Sex is. What's that? Oh, the question was, and I'm paraphrasing here. Do we see sex as something that is good or bad in Second Life? I think the answer is very, very simple. We're very supportive of people's experiences in Second Life, and one of the reasons that we took the steps that we took around adult content was to make it comfortable and possible for people to explore that dimension of their Second Life experience in a way that was comfortable for them and comfortable for other people who are not interested in those endeavors. In a really, particularly as Second Life scales as a platform and we bring more and more people in, we're going to see naturally, new social norms develop. I mean, there were probably behaviors that were comfortable near the Pioneer's watering hole that Philip talked about that you wouldn't find in Union Square today, or maybe not. But I think it's all part of the natural evolution.
Today you would. We're all here.
Right, exactly.
Can you light this up, Axios, or one of the? Oh no, I just mean, can anybody heat this up back there? What I would add is that we really do continue to see the development and one, to Mark's point, we are not moving away from letting people do whatever they want to do in Second Life, including have sex. The second thing is the manner in which we don't move away from that is to increase the tools and the controls, the parcel visibility, naming, search, to essentially increase the tool set to a power level where there's adequate separation between different types of content experiences. However, those content experiences, we recognize, at least in our best thinking, they all stay together in the same world, basically. I think people look at the Zindra or worry that we're sort of trying to segment or categorize. We're just not smart enough to do that, and I don't know of any thinking at Linden where we really think we can. The issue is merely one of continuing to scale the system and provide these controls so that you can separate content where it's appropriate. The real world is just like that. There are norms of behavior. There are literal, zoning and laws and other restrictions that separate types of content. But at the top level, the internet itself is all connected via hyperlinks. Even the sexually oriented content is connected via a few hyperlinks with the business content or whatever. So the same is likely to be true in the virtual world. We just have to continue to build the tool set so that it supports that behavior. But no, we're not moving away from. We're just not smart enough. Again, especially in the midst of the amount of change we're talking about, we're just not smart enough to tag what types of content are dominant, unneeded, needed, or whatever. And then we just don't believe that putting restrictions on that would be likely to cause people to. People wouldn't continue to build content and feel like Second Life had the right set of platform conditions if we were trying to legislate what kind of content is there. But we will continue to build tools and move things around and push on everybody so that we get the search, the zoning, the visibility right, so that you can sit there and have a business meeting and you can also have sex. Very rarely, it probably happens at the same time.
Right, exactly. Well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, I guess, right?
Who's next? Who's next? Who's got another question? Maybe back there in the middle. Sorry, I'm going to make Axios here run as much as possible. Get some real life exercise.
Hello. I was wondering if you wanted to reach that exponential growth of virtual world, would it actually need some challenger as well to Second Life? Or you aiming at doing it on your own?
I can take that one. As Mark said, I think mostly what you're talking about is the platform infrastructure. The question is, to get to exponential growth, what do we need to do to the platform? There are certainly things we need to do. As you guys know, there's a number of peripheral parts of Second Life, like groups, for example, and group chat, that are problematic because we built them. They're still built in a fairly centralized way. Although it's funny, even group chat is something like 25 dedicated machines handling basically probably more group chat traffic than any other system in the world. No, it doesn't work all the time. There aren't a lot of alternatives. It's a relatively difficult problem sending real-time messages out to hundreds of people at the same time that are in a bespoke group, basically. It's a hard technology problem. But as Mark said, we have about 100% overhead right now in the existing systems, which is overhead that we did not have a year ago. Mark has done an excellent job, and he got to go after me and say I was a great guy. Mark has done a phenomenal job dealing with lots of stuff, but one of them is really pushing us on fixing and incrementally stabilizing and dealing with a bunch of big problems that we had, and we are absolutely in a different place now than we were a year ago. Some of it you can see. Some of it you can see in the charts. Some of it you can't see. There are major systemic changes that have been made now, such as the decentralization of different parts of the databases, the asset systems, dark networks connecting our multiple service centers, and ability to add more service centers more rapidly. There's a number of infrastructure changes. I would say that Second Life's architecture is certainly not the billion-person architecture, but at a really high, like what you draw on a napkin, it works okay. That is to say, and that's the difference between two leaders here. And you're lucky. It's a good combo. The napkin level drawing is basically one where you got a ton of simulators simulating a virtual world, and those simulators live wherever. And of course, look at the enterprise work we've done lately. Look at the open grid interconnectivity stuff that we're playing with. We're going to get to a situation here where, Second Life internally is already this way. The architecture is this way, where you've got tons of different interconnected machines that are actually simulating the space. That's the basic requirement for scalability, is that the simulation infrastructure be itself decentralized. We have achieved that. If you look at things like group chat, if you look at the way we do login today, if you look at where we store your inventory and how we store it with accounts, we're incrementally making centralize all that so that that's also scalable. But we've got headroom right now for 2x what we've got today, and I think that we've got the right napkin drawings and then the right team in place to go from there to $1 billion. There's not like I guess what I'm saying is there's not a mystery project that akin to Second Life's origins, where we have to solve some big mysterious what if to make virtual worlds work. I don't, as an engineer and technologist, I don't see that problem.